Hey there Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. Okay, so we have officially hit on Taurus season. Yes, happy birthday to all of you solar Taurians out there. It is your season. It's time to shine, right? So with that in mind, what we're going to be doing today, in today's video, we're going to be looking at the archetype of Taurus by explaining the Taurus house within astrology, within your natal birth chart, followed by your Venus sign and house. And then we're going to be looking at the second house as well. So what I want to know then about your placements, do you have any planets within the sign of Taurus, or what is going on within your second house? Have you got any planets in there? Or even what is your Venus placement? Let us know in the comment section. Before we do get started with today's video, I just want to mention here that I have created this Taurus season, Taurus Archetype ebook. By the way, look at this front cover. How gorgeous is the front cover? Thank you so much to Mathilde. Yes, I pronounced your name incorrectly the last time, but yeah, thank you Mathilde for your amazing artwork, and to everybody of course who entered the Taurus zodiac round of the art competition. But yeah, you're gonna find so much information in this book, guys. You're going to be looking at the Taurus archetype, Taurus houses, Venus signs, Venus houses, second house, beauty and aesthetic, money and astrology, second house ruler, how the zodiac signs, well specifically the sun signs, survive Taurus season. Also we've got the Taurus interception mentioned here, and Venus retrograde within both the natal birth chart and also during a transit. So yeah, for more information, definitely pick up a copy. I will put a link to this new book in the description box below. So with all of those things being mentioned, let's do this. For more information all about archetypes, okay, then I have created a video talking about archetypes, so I will provide a link to that video so you can check it out for yourselves. But in a nutshell, an archetype is a primitive mental image derived from the collective unconscious. And when it comes to the sign or the archetype of Taurus, the mental image associated with this particular archetype is that of a bull's head with horns. And it's this symbol that is a representation of immovability, stability, and predictability. Through this symbol, we notice an individual's desire to remain firm-footed and level-headed towards both their physical security and their physical environment, and also towards their value. So what you value, who you value, and how do you value yourself and others. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this a step back, and we're going to look at the archetype of Aries, because we want to see really where we are coming from. And what we learn during Aries season is about our drive and how we move in a forward motion where we get out there and we take on life. We learn a great deal about our self-identity, and we are presented with an opportunity to really explore more of who we are throughout the rest of this zodiac wheel. But it's also Aries season that teaches us a thing or two about the importance of nipping things in the bud. So essentially meaning that it's about us addressing any conflicts or challenges that we have head on, right? So facing them head on and really getting things out of the way so that we can really enjoy the pleasure and the luxury and the comfort and the beauty and the ease that comes with Taurus season. So we seem to have this courage to gain independence through Aries season, but then the dialogue, it changes quite obviously into Taurus season. And so what we do is we enter into a world of hedonism and pleasure and sensuality. We also develop common sense so that we can make more practical and thought out decisions that might have been rather reckless during Aries season. You see, Aries represents the energy that the seed requires in order to really shoot through the ground, Whereas Taurus represents that habitual sort of routine, watering and sunlight that the seed needs in order to keep surviving, growing throughout its lifespan. Therefore, Taurus shows us the importance of having shelter, food, and water. But yet, not everybody on this planet has access to these things. And this is also what makes Taurus a sign of deep, deep gratitude and appreciation. The archetype of Taurus basically represents the fullness and the richness and the abundance within the material world and lack thereof. But most importantly, Taurus represents Earth itself. Therefore, Taurus is strongly connected with Mother Nature herself, the wonderful, magnetic Gaia. See, the thing about Gaia is that Gaia was the ultimate goddess of raw and rich maternal power, and her spirit gave form and structure to the formless, and thus the earth was conceived. And some astrologers actually suggest that Earth, so the planet Earth, rules the sign of Taurus. So whilst Taurus represents all things tangible, where we realize how we can provide for ourselves physically, we also acknowledge that the reality is that there are people across this planet who are homeless, who are in poverty, and who are without clean water, for example. Therefore, it's through this archetype, it's through this magnetically beautiful sign of Taurus that we understand that not everybody has the same access to certain resources and facilities and materials and items. But what we do all share in common is that we are all a part of nature. We are all existing, and no matter how much or more or less that this person has in comparison to that person, well, it doesn't mean that that person over there is any less or any better than the other person who has more items in terms of, well, their existence. Meaning that no matter how many resources or materials that we have or that we accumulate, well, we can't just shut Mother Nature out. Because the thing about Mother Nature is that Mother Nature will refuse. Mother Nature will refuse to budge, and it will stand strong. Therefore, it is our duty as humans, humans on this planet, to really consider the actions that we make towards each other and also towards the planet. So, with that being said, the thing about Mother Nature, wonderful Gaia, is that Gaia will warn us, okay? Gaia will send us signals to show us if we are disrupting the balance. This right here screams that episode of Hercules. I don't know if you ever remember watching Hercules, but it was on the Disney Channel. It was that show, and this particular episode was of the Prince of Thrace, Thrace, Now, the thing about this prince is that in the episode, he denied a warning. There was this clear warning that was telling him and his people to not keep hitting the ground, but yet out of his own greed, he said, nah, just keep hitting it. He just kept hitting it. And then Mother Nature placed this curse on the prince. So what the prince did is the prince searched for Hercules to really help the prince remove the curse. So whenever they went to approach Mother Nature or Gaia, they brought golden apples in order to remove the curse. So from this really short clip, which I just thought would be perfect to really connect this in well, we learn from Taurus that what we give to Mother Nature, to Gaia, we receive. We learn then about abundance and gratitude and thankfulness and appreciation. If we give with richness, we receive with richness. But if we are greedy or dissatisfied with what Mother Nature has provided us with, we can receive more dissatisfaction as we uncontrollably seek more things in order to fill a void within ourselves. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to play a couple of movies and stories that I think embody the sign of Taurus. So yeah, we'll play through these and yeah, see what you think. From these clips, you've probably gathered that Taurus is an archetype or a sign of physicality and materialism. It is a sign of stability and sustainability. It's a sign of showing us how we earn money or how we pay the bills. But you know what? It is also a sign of deep desire, pleasure, and seduction. After all, Taurus is ruled by the divine feminine herself, Venus. And Venus can be a highly seductive planet, resulting in us being able to wrap others around our little finger, okay? Because Venus is a planet of attraction, and so she appeals to anyone who is cast under her sultry spell of love and lust. She brightens up the person that she's attracted to, and what she does is she magnetically glows as she then lures them in subtly. She pulls them in very, very subtly. See, the thing about Venus in astrology is that Venus is not as direct and as forward and outright as Mars in her approach. But even some would suggest that this in itself is even more powerful. So when it does come to the Taurus house within your natal birth chart, well, the Taurus house will show you where you accumulate financial resources so that they can be used practically and in a reliable way. So for example, here we have the likes of Monica Bellucci. Now, Monica, she has Taurus ruling her 4th house along with Jupiter in Taurus. And apparently she moved to the Milan Fashion Center where she was pretty young and she signed a contract with the elite model management. So from this move, right, this then brought her a lot of financial gain, a lot of financial income. But it was also her gorgeous beauty, right? This beauty, this attraction about her that actually really helped her gain this opportunity. See, the thing about the Taurus house within your natal birth chart is that it's also going to show you where you want to be valued and appreciated within that particular area of life that Taurus rules, okay? And it's also going to show you where you feel beautiful and attractive. It's going to show you where you place much of your loyalty and devotion, as well as where you provide financial security or physical support. Another example here could actually be Brad Pitt. Now, Brad Pitt has Taurus ruling his 5th house, but he has no planets in Taurus, okay? And it could be suggested here that he supports his children, okay? 5th house matters, being connected with children. But The thing is here as well is that him and Angelina Jolie, they have both adopted biological children. They have so many. So for him, it could be suggested he is focused on providing for his children, and that might be one of his biggest sort of priorities. Or it could be that, yes, he is this star actor, 5th house also being connected with hobbies. So he's earning money through his hobby of acting, and he's using his skills and talents being connected with the sign of Taurus as well, in his acting to then create a financially secure life. The Taurus house as well is a house where we can be rather stubborn and bullheaded. It's where we require some time in order to make any significant changes in our lives, and it's this change that can take up to a couple of years. So it is really important that we don't feel rushed or pushed in our Taurus house. I mean, we do enough of that pushing in our Aries house, so when we come to the Taurus house, it's like, slow it down a little bit. It's just really important that you go at your own pace within your Taurus house. So for example, if you have Taurus ruling your 3rd house, it might require some time then to make changes when it comes to relationships with siblings or with people in your local area, such as within your early schooling. Let's say, for example, that you have the sign of Taurus ruling your 9th house, okay? Well, it may require some time then for you to make changes when it comes to university, also when it comes to long distance travel. The Taurus house is also where we satisfy our desires, whether they be physical or instinctual. It's where we feel pleasure, serenity, and comfort. So, for example, if you have Taurus ruling your 2nd house, you might find pleasure in cooking, or you might find comfort within your very physical security. Or if you have Taurus ruling your 8th house, you might find pleasure in intimacy, in sensual intimacy at that, intense sensual intimacy. Or you might find comfort in the likes of perfumes and essential oils. Now, the archetype of Taurus is also comprised of fixed earth. So it's within the Taurus house in your natal birth chart that you ground yourself within that particular area of life. Though what does it mean if you have a planet within the sign of Taurus? Now, of course, it depends on the planet itself because of the energy that you're really dealing with, but by that particular planet being placed in this grounded and earthly sign of Taurus, well, what it does is it makes that planet more stable, more sustainable. It really just slows things down and it makes things steady. So for example, if you have Jupiter within the sign of Taurus, there's going to be a slower and more steady pace when it comes to what your meaning is or what you believe in, or when it comes to learning new subjects that are a bit more beyond just your early schooling. You may not take risks when it comes to your fortune and your finances, or it could just be that you have this streak of luck when it comes to your finances and how you earn money. Let's say, for example, you have Mercury within the sign of Taurus. Well, then it could be suggested that your communication is a lot more stable and how you learn is a lot more stable as well. You may think a lot more practically about things, and you may use real life examples as you explain yourself, and you may also be more steadier when it comes to your decision making. If you have a stellium in Taurus, so meaning 4 or more planets within the sign of Taurus, well, again, it depends on the planet exactly, okay, which planets are in there. But with that high volume of Taurus energy, well, it just might result in a person who is not really in a big rush. You might take your time into starting new projects. You may remain composed and relatively content with what you have or you don't have. You may nourish your talents and your skills and your self-worth, or you may have this really strong desire for comfort and stability. But this stellium could also result in a greedy, overly materialistic, controlling and possessive type of person as well. If you have a stellium in Taurus, you might actually find it rather difficult to just let situations let people, let items go. Therefore, it would be a really good idea to look at the house or the sign opposite. So to really balance out this energy would be to look at Scorpio going on opposite, okay? So then it would be about this person, or you if you have the Taurus stellium, learning to really let things go, or let things die, let things end, let things transform into something else where you just trust. You trust that you're gonna be provided for through that experience. The what if Taurus is intercepted within your birth chart? Well, this essentially means that Taurus is being swallowed up within a particular house, okay, within your chart. So this could suggest then that there are blockages when it comes to your own patience. It could be that you didn't know how to really develop patience whenever you were younger or growing up, where you were expected to act really, really quickly on things. You might also find it hard or difficult to finish things, to complete things, and you may selfishly just hold on to situations or things as well. So it is really good then, if you have a Taurus interception, of course, to look to see where Venus, the ruling planet of Taurus, look to see where Venus is located within your chart in order to really unlock this interception, to see how you can integrate it for yourself, and also assess the interception happening automatically opposite with the opposite sign of Scorpio, because Scorpio is also going to be intercepted. And then once located, you can then try to identify how you can integrate these into your own conscious awareness. So for example, you could say that allowing things to unfold and happen the way they should could be a good idea, rather than feeling like you need to push or make things happen just instantly. So let's talk about the lovely ruling planet of Taurus, Venus. Now, of course, Venus rules both Libra and Taurus within astrology, okay? But whereas the Libra side is more to do with the social, cultural side, the more sort of relationship oriented side, the Taurus side is more to do with that earthly, sensual, sort of physical side. But the planet Venus itself actually will show you how you attract people and things to you based upon the sign that Venus is in. So how you attract what you desire. So for example, a Cancer Venus person, they may be emotionally receptive towards the things that they desire, but then the Capricorn Venus person, they may be more practical and productive towards what they desire. So if these two Venus signs, so the Cancer Venus and the Capricorn Venus, if they were to both desire a handbag, for example, right? Well, the Cancer Venus, they may feel more in the moment over wanting to purchase that handbag, whereas the Capricorn Venus, they may wait a little bit, okay? They may really assess the situation and will kind of think, well, will I actually use this? Now, if we were to add the houses in here as well, well, whichever house then Venus is in, it will add more layers as to how that Venus sign plays out within your life. So, for example, the Cancer Venus in the 4th house, they may be emotionally receptive towards accumulating items and materials within their home, okay? So 4th house being connected with the home. But then the Capricorn Venus in the 6th house, they may be practical and productive towards nutrition and health. Okay, so nutrition and health being connected with the 6th house. So what they might do is they might spend their finances on new diet plans. They might value doctor's appointments or going to the gym, where they just really see the long-term goals by appreciating and valuing these things. The Venus sign will also show you how you bestow harmony between you and others and from within yourself as well. So it's really about appreciating the beauty of our own nature, whilst also appreciating the beauty of other people and things within our lives or within the atmosphere. Plus, Venus can also show you how you seduce your chosen partner that you desire to create a union with. It can also show you how you welcome people in with a hug and a kiss and then you spit them back out with disgust and disinterest. So for example, a Libra Venus person, the way they seduce someone is by creating peace and harmony and a lot of sweet talking, okay? A lot of sweet talking. But the moment that they no longer are interested, or they don't want to wish to be with that person anymore, or maybe they're just upset with that romantic partner, they may give them the silent treatment, or they may just start talking to other people, or they might compromise for better or for worse. But then take somebody who has a Sagittarius Venus. Well, the way they seduce someone may be by being pretty positive, where they feel as though there is a connection, like there's a lot of meaning to the connection, and they're just so in the moment. But then the moment that they no longer wish to be with that person, or they're upset with that person, they may either just run away, or they may be really open and honest about that and just really say, like, you no longer excite me. Venus as well can also symbolize beauty and aesthetic. So the type of style or fashion that you have, okay? So what types of products do you buy? What types of clothing do you buy? How do you value your body even as well? Because that's another thing is, yeah, it can be about the physical clothing that we have, but then also how is it we show value and love and appreciation towards our actual like vessel, this vessel that we're all in. But you know what? It's also the planet Venus that shows you that beauty is more than skin deep. Now, when it does come to the second house ruler within your natal birth chart, okay, so looking at the second house in astrology, yes, the rising sign and the first house, they give indication towards our appearance. But you know what? I just sneezed there. Yep. So does the second house. For example, right? Someone with Gemini in the second house, Taurus rising. Yes, that Taurus energy is going to really value beauty and the aesthetic. They're going to value the material world. But then it's this Gemini ruling the second house that might be flexible in their style or their fashion, where they purchase new clothing, or they're okay with switching things up. But then someone with Leo ruling the second house and then the Cancer rising, well, that Cancer rising energy, they may be more emotionally inclined towards their body and towards their own physical appearance. But then with the Leo ruling the second house, it's going to be very proud and expressive in their fashion and very creative, where they may seek clothing and style that just adds extra flair towards their wardrobe. The second house ruler can also help you establish things that you deem as worthy or as valuable, and so this can then feed into your spending habits. So how you spend your money. What are your habits? So for example, the spending habits of a Virgo ruling the second house person, the spending habits, they may be based upon how efficient they are, whilst the person spending habits with Libra ruling their second house might be based upon how balanced they are. So therefore, the second house will really show you how you spend money, how you save money, how you budget money, how you accumulate material items, how you provide for yourself in order to feel physically and financially secure, and how you really attend to your possessions and how you approach your resources. And it's also going to show you the specific nature of both your skills and your talents. So for example, Pisces ruling the second house, their skill might be found in writing music. Or a person with Aquarius ruling the second house, they might be talented when it comes to networking. But you know, above all else, this second house is going to show you your self-worth and your value system. So what is the evaluation of your personal worth? What do you see as valuable within your life? What is your value based upon? Is it based upon your materials, your items, money, your relationships, your body, your job? For example, Scorpio ruling the second house, they might strongly value sex and intimacy. They might also go to extremes with their finances. They might value becoming intimate with their bodies. A person with Sagittarius ruling their second house, well, they might value higher learning, higher knowledge. They might be excessive when it comes to their possessions, and they might find value in pushing their body past its limits. Overall, the archetype of Taurus signifies patience and immovability, and it's these things that can manifest into whichever house or area of life that Taurus rules within your natal birth chart. Whilst Venus then shows you both how and where your attraction and your self-worth is being manifested most predominantly. And lastly, the second house ruler will show you how you build upon your self-worth, how you approach your finances and your physical security, and how you appreciate and build upon any skills and talents you have. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes the Taurus house, the Venus sign, and the second house ruler within your natal birth chart. I hope you found this video to be helpful. Let me know in the comment section if you did, or if you want to add any more information, then definitely be sure as well. Thank you so much for watching, thank you for subscribing, and of course, if you would like to see more videos from myself and you have not yet subscribed, then go right ahead and click that subscribe button, and I will be back with another video very, very soon. Bye!